Well, hello, everybody out there, and welcome to another edition of the VOG Network Roundtable. And tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Go and Pokemon DLC updates. It's a Pokemon-themed roundtable tonight. I am Rob Roberts from VOG Network, and I am joined on the panel today by a friend of our shows here at VOGNetwork.com and longtime listener, SSJ100 Matt.
Hello.
Hi, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yourself, Rob?
I am doing good. It's good to see you. Usually we see you in the chat on Sunday
It's
nights.
true.
All right, but it's good to see you here. And also, frequent listener on Sunday nights, say hello as well to Mike at Deft Ibarra from the podcast GFMcast at GFMcast.com. Hey, Deft, how you doing?
Doing pretty fine. No, thanks for inviting me.
Hey, you're welcome. It's great to have you here. And is that a shiny Kirby that you have on your stand tonight?
See that.
Kinda. All right. And we also have joining us on the panel tonight. You know what? We said Pokemon, and you know this frequent contributor to the Voice Geeks Network. Say hello to Shad Starzyk, or Shane.
Hello.
Hey, Shane. How you doing?
I'm angry.
You're angry about Pokemon?
I'm just giving you a preview of tonight.
Okay, well, we'll get into it in a moment, but if you need to think happy thoughts, just think maybe about that music video that they put out, because I know that's been making you very happy, all that
No,
happened.
yeah, it's just running through my head constantly, so I don't have to think about it. It's just there.
So it's your happy place.
Sure.
Okay, all right. Let's get into the bottom line first. The bottom line first tonight. Is Pokemon Go becoming a better game or a worse game? Or a hashtag dead game if you're Bobby Blackwolf? What are your thoughts on that? Matt, I'll start with you. Is Pokemon Go becoming a better game or a worse game?
So I think right now, I think with the game traditionally, it's kind of gone through a lot of ebbs and flows. At some points, there's a lot of like good things to do, a lot of like new fun stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other times where it's kind of down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're kind of hitting like a downtrend right now, where there's like not very much to do. I mean, they've introduced a lot of the Mega Evolve stuff, which I think that kind of it's good and it's fun. The problem is just like people that just aren't into raiding or like can't get like a party together and stuff like that. I think that's primarily hard for them, especially since the raids are kind of hard. But I think just right now the game is just kind of hitting kind of like a downturn at the moment. So
yeah, I'm not sure Mega Evolves maybe hit in the way that Niantic was hoping, because obviously it was kind of like mixed reception when it came out. Like they had to up the amount of energy you were getting, and that whole system seems like it's been a little bit like flawed, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of like a lot of like learning on the fly. And
yeah.
It's just it's like it's a grind. It's a grind to get the mega evolutions, especially for like the things that are like that you really got to raid for. Like right now, the Houndoom mega evolution is kind of a real grind, kind of a process if you aren't able to raid as often. So
fair enough. Def, let me go to you. Is Pokemon Go becoming better or worse?
Well, I have said many times that the game has gotten better and better each time with each update, each year. They have been adding more and more stuff. So I wouldn't call it that it's getting worse. It's definitely getting better, but there are some times that the game doesn't perform as you expect. There are things like, especially with something like Go Battle League, where so many complaints have been in throughout the year, basically, and the lag of the matches. Sometimes the rating system doesn't make that much sense, and so many stuff. The game is good still, and it is fun to play, but we are heading in a point that the game is getting stale, that the game is getting too repetitive, and that's pretty much getting to worn out some of the people playing right now. And in the case of me personally, I still like the game. I still play it, obviously, but it is getting to a point that is like, what am I going to do today? What should I log into the game? So yeah, we need to basically Niantic to do something to the game, well, to make it better.
Yeah,
better.
and you brought up a part of the game that I don't even ever touch, and that's the Go Battle League. I think I've played maybe like 2 or 3 matches. So it is interesting that there's like whole parts of the game that I guess some people don't necessarily even get into. But that might be like any MMO. Like, if you're playing World of Warcraft, maybe you don't really do PvP. If you're playing Final Fantasy 14, maybe you don't really do crafting. Like, sometimes there's, elements of the games you may not get into, I guess.
Yeah.
Shane, I'm excited to hear your answer to this. Is Pokemon Go becoming a better game or a worse game, and why?
Well, let's look at my phone's game folder, and we can get the answer from that.
Okay.
So here's my game folder.
So you're playing
Pokemon
Among
Go.
Us, Drop Mix.
Yeah, Ascension, Drop Mix, Pokemon Masters is there. Yeah, I deleted it off my phone. I think it's become a worse game, and I feel it may rival some of the worst gacha games in terms of monetization at this point. And with the exception that we may talk about later, I'm done. Like these past couple days have been the absolute final straw. When I've already threatened a few times to just be done with it, now it's over. I'm done.
But you were collecting like shinies upon shinies in the game, and as we're taping live here at our Twitch channel at VOG Network, Bobby Blackwolf is expressing, I never thought I would hear this from Shane, and I think that's probably a lot of people, because usually when we're talking about Community Day or something on the show, you're popping in going, I got 42 shinies or whatever ungodly amount you got this last time.
Ridiculous amount. I think it was 45.
Porygons. So to go from that level of I caught 45 shiny Porygons to I uninstalled the game today, that's a pretty big shift. So what pushed you over the edge? What made you go, that's it, that's what broke me?
So they've been on a downward trend in terms of my interest for a while. So let's start with their community days have gotten worse. It used to be something really fun to look forward to, it's either a cool starter Pokemon or something we don't see often, or just a neat Pokemon for community day, and we're gonna go hunt it and get some shinies, get a lot of candy. It's great. Now they're just kind of like recycling old ones and picking ones that just aren't exciting whatsoever. Caterpie, like who cared about Caterpie? Or not Caterpie, Weedle. Nobody cared about Weedle. That was boring. And so I've been disinterested in that for a while. And then Mega Raids came out. And I don't know. I don't like the way they implemented Mega Raids. And I say that not having an answer for how they should fix it, but the fact you have to get all this candy from doing raids already, that you need a decent group to do, it seems, to get any good amount of candy from. And then you Mega Evolve, and then it's gone, and you have to do it again, albeit at a lower cost. I don't like that. Then the remote raid passes came out, and that was cool. I like remote raid passes. I don't like that you can only hold 3. I don't like that they're their own unique item. When I have almost 300 premium raid passes from the entire time Pokemon Go has been out, just buying boxes and stuff, they're just stocking up there. I can't really go out and raid anymore. So those are worthless to me for the most part. And now they're taking back some of the best quality of life changes that they did because of COVID, and acting like, well, COVID's done. Here, you don't need your incense to give you as many Pokemon unless you're walking outside. You also, we're going to put in another special research task, and it's going to be ridiculous because you have to get like 90 Pokemon by the step 2, and you got to hatch all these eggs and do raids and do Team Rocket fights. It's too much, and they want too much money from me at this point. Well, I'd rather just play the main games.
Let me ask this about the, because the COVID thing, and we'll come back to talking about some of the changes lately, but you talk about kind of the repetitive community days and how maybe some of that hasn't been as exciting recently, and I would wonder, is that maybe by design, because COVID is a thing, that maybe community days have to be less exciting as a responsibility to not have people out and about as much?
No, I don't think so, because they extended the time for community day. It used to only be 3 hours, and because of that, and with the incense changes, I mean, it was plenty fun just sitting at my computer, popping an incense, and then checking, every minute to see what I'm gonna get. So no, I don't think, that's the reason. I think they're just awful.
Yeah. I think for me and this question, like I think Matt kind of put it like the best for me is that like the game kind of has ups and downs, and there's lots of things that can be very exciting, and there's parts of it that are less exciting. And I think mega raids are not giving the game the kick in the butt that I think they thought it was going to give the game. I think they thought mega raids would get people more excited, but I don't know about you guys, but the reality for me, I cannot convince people to raid a freaking Pidgeot. Like, those Pidgeys were everywhere in the early days of the game. Now, I understand people have to catch up and so forth. They have to recycle some things. Like Articuno and Zapdos coming back in raids. Okay, I get it. Not everybody caught those the first time around. But, like, to raid a Pidgeot, to burn a remote pass on a Pidgeot when you have to get, like, multiple to do it, like, I just... bleh. Like, I wish there were ways to craft mega energy, or I just wish like there were other ways to get that energy besides just raids. Raids can give the most, and I guess they started putting some in quests, but even with quests, it seems like kind of a crapshoot. Like, what color swirly is this? Is this going to be Venusaur energy, Charizard energy? Like, I don't even know. Like, why can't I just convert candy or something into energy? I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a better answer.
So,
go ahead, Matt.
Oh no, what I was gonna say was I think weren't they kind of talking about the possibility of them like having like a Pidgeotto or whatever as your buddy and then accumulating the stuff that way through walking with it as your buddy? Were they kind of talking about that, or was that not a thing?
That was more like fan speculation. We all, even me in the beginning when they announced Megas, buddy Pokemon is gonna be the key for this, and we have to max them out. We have to make them best buddies. But the reality is that Niantic botched it like really really bad. I agree with all of you, in the sense that Mega Evolution was badly implemented. It was thoroughly badly implemented, and they're trying to make it better, but at the same time it's not as good. It's You still need a ton of energy. You still have to do the raids in some way, and not necessarily that I'm gonna like, I'm not gonna do a Pidgeot raid, but the thing is not many people are excited about the raids in general.
Yeah.
Like, even me right now, I'm not doing that many raids.
Me neither.
I'm waiting for possibly Giratina Origin Form that is coming really soon. But for mega raids, not even Howdoom that I actually like. I'm not like that excited for it.
Yeah.
Really.
And one thing that kind of surprises me, and like an idea of my own that I would throw out there, and Shane, I'll get your thoughts too. I haven't forgotten you, but Niantic is all about like getting up, getting out, moving, going around, exploring places. They have this huge database in their system from Ingress and Harry Potter and the other games that they run of locations in the game. Surely they know which ones are popular and which ones aren't popular. My point is, what if Mega Evolutions was like a place? Like, go to this place to get energy and to possibly evolve a Pokemon. I think that would be kind of cool. Or work together with other people to form a place. Like, I'm not saying they should just jack linking and fielding from Ingress, but that concept of working with other people on your team to like make a zone to make a mega evolving easier. I think that would be really cool. I mean, it'd take a lot of work, but it would be more interesting than what would be there now. Shane, I had skipped you earlier. What do you want to say about Mega Evolutions?
Well, it wasn't so much about Mega. It was just kind of adding on to how I feel. Because you brought up, maybe some people missed out on Articuno and Zapdos and Moltres and stuff. And that reminded me, we used to get legendaries in like the special research, and now we just get Alola Raichu. Or here's something equally as stupid. And I think that was another like hype deflator. And same with because I saw this a lot the past couple days. People were talking about Dragon Week and how terrible that was recently, because in their advertisement, they're like, oh, you can get dino from eggs, and if you're lucky, he could be shiny. And I think it was like they did research on like Silk Road or something, and it was figured out that dino was like a 1% hatch during that
Yeah.
entire time. So
Yeah.
if you are doing a gotcha type system in your game and you're promoting a 1% chance without like disclosing that's what it's going to be, that's super shady. I feel
Yeah.
like even Pokemon Masters, which I've only recently really started getting into, they always tell you the percentage of the pulls, and so I really appreciate that. And it just makes me wonder why Niantic thinks that they can get away with doing eggs the way they do, and it just being a complete mystery unless you get crowdsourced data for it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree that like to feature a Pokemon as much as they did and then only give it a 1% hatch rate, that was pretty shady. Like maybe a 1% shiny, but like, the way they did it was I didn't like that either. And I
Yeah.
usually am a big fan of the events in the game, and I think that's another reason why this Mega Evolution stuff has felt very dry, is that there's not a lot of other stuff going on right now. Yeah, they kind of mixed up like you get big Pokemon right now or something like in a Frederick. Like they're doing these like strange kind of themed weeks, but it's not really as exciting as what they just did coming off of Go Fest, you know? Well, okay, so Pokemon Go wasn't the only big news this week, and I think why, now is a good time to do a Pokemon Roundtable. But we also had a Direct. So Nintendo did a Direct this week for some additional DLC for Sword and Shield. And I know we have a few people here that are really into playing the main games. Deft, I think you're one of them, right? You play Sword and Shield a little bit. What did you think of the special Direct they did this week with the new DLC?
Well, they didn't show that much that we didn't see already or that we don't already know.
Or that the miners didn't
So,
figure out?
yeah, basically. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still optimistic. I'm still excited to try it out. I was excited about the Isle of Armor, so I'm pretty sure this is gonna be good. Hopefully, and this is a complaint I have personally with the previous DLC, is that okay? They gave us a whole new wild area, and yeah, there's more Pokemon, there's more raid dens, all that stuff. But in terms like of story, like making a whole new game out of it, or adding that like more content, it wasn't like really that. So hopefully this coming DLC, the Count Tonga, fixes some of those complaints. But uh, I'm excited for the returning Pokemon. I'm excited to do the Dynamax quest, the underground map or whatever that is with for the legendaries. I'm excited about that, and also the new legendaries, the new
Hmm.
Bird Trio, Reggie Drake, the other Reggie also, Reggie Lecky or something like that. Um, so I'm excited about the new Pokemon too, and also the new mythical Calyrex. So yeah, I'm excited about the Pokemon, but hopefully aside the Pokemon, it gives us more, and it looks like it may give us that was something that was missing from the previous DLC.
Cool. Shane, what about you? I know you definitely play the main games, so to speak.
Mhm. So I 100% agree about how the first DLC was definitely missing like a solid story. We got just a little bit of stuff going on in that. It was mostly about the wild area and hunting like the dens and making the soup for our Gigantamax Pokemon. So for this one, I'm really excited. Um, I saw the data mine stuff, and so I'm also bummed just because of the returning Pokemon still not the ones I want. But I'm all for it. I'm ready to get my Galarian Zapdos, who I absolutely love, and I'm ready to go do those dens. I'm gonna put a lot of time into this DLC. I think for those. Yeah, he's basically a chocobo. Yeah. He's adorable. I hate his typing, but I love the way they designed Zapdos, who used to be the ugliest of the bird trio. And now he's the best. I don't know how that happened.
I have to admit, I'm a little behind on Sword and Shield. I just finally like beat the extra story, so I still have to get into the first DLC. So I feel like I'll get all caught up over the holidays or something, or maybe by the time they put out a third DLC. Rumors, who knows? Who knows? Matt, what about you? I don't know how much of Sword and Shield you get into, but what are your thoughts?
So I'm kind of like in a little bit of the minority. I have Sword and Shield, and I played a bunch of it at the start of the pandemic, and I think I'm about like halfway through, but it's just like I got a little burned out
Mm-hmm.
that during that time, and it's just kind of like how I play kind of Pokemon games. It's just like I take a long time to play it. It's just like I put it down, I come back. Like I'm still working my way through Pokemon Black 2 as
Mm.
well. So it's just kind of like I'm just very slow at it. And like that's part of the reason why I didn't get the DLC right off the bat. I do like the idea that they're continuing to evolve the game and add more stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like this game.
Mhm.
I think it's a different change of pace to the old games, and just kind of just like you can get really lost in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I brought up on OLR, like Sword and Shield is my favorite of the Pokemon games. It's the one that held my attention. Kind of like you, like I play a lot like you have talked about, Matt, where it's like you kind of get really into it for a period of time. And then for me, I would allow myself way too easy to get sidetracked with I have to catch every Pokemon in an area or I am failing the game. And like it took me as much as like, you know, Shane, and I've known Shane for years and years, and he's always tried to get me on the Pokemon train with mixed success. And he's even telling me like stop thinking that way, just get through the game. And I'm like, I can't. But something about the way this one was set up, with as controversial as the wild area was, and how like it kind of it really worked for me. And I was it made it way easier to get through the game for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
like I really like how they changed the gym battles as well in it, because then it's just like not the standard, you know, like
I love the gym battles.
Beat this person, but like no, it's like little like mini games as well. So I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of fun.
And the music is so good. Like it's like you really do feel like you're at like a soccer match or something. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
And we need that soundtrack. They still haven't announced a release date for it, and I need the gym leader music so bad.
Maybe they're waiting to do, if they do like a third DLC, they'll do one big soundtrack with everything. Who knows? Who knows? We can dream. Anyway, let me move on to the next question. So some other things that were brought up kind of in the direct and so forth had to do with Pokemon Home. So we learned that you're finally going to be able to transfer from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home, and you're going to get to do that a little later this year. We don't know exactly what day. Some kind of scuffle came up that day because it was discovered that, Niantic's going to be asking for coins to do that. Yikes. But Niantic has since come out and clarified it's more like you get to do some for free and you get to do coins to pay to get around the cooldown. Honestly, similar to the way they're doing raids, I guess, right? You can do one raid a day with a free raid pass, maybe two, depending on how you stack your passes. And then if you want to do more than that, you got to buy the extra passes. So Shane, I feel like you had a strong reaction to this. How do you feel about the interfacing between Home and Pokemon Go?
I think it's bad. It was the first like notch in the this game is probably done for me for Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't super mind that there's a cooldown to trade. I mean, we don't even know how many you can transfer before you hit that cooldown. It could just be one. And we don't know how long the cooldown is. But it's kind of gross to me that I have to pay for Pokemon Home. I have to probably, because of the situation, pay for coins. It's not that easy around here to get a lot of the coins from gyms. And I don't want to keep paying all these extra things to transfer Pokemon into another game. Like, that's fine. I don't need to transfer except for the one stupid Meltan that they're going to give away. It seems like another one of the cash grabs that just doesn't sit right with me.
Deft, how's your thoughts on this between the interfacing with Home and Pokemon Go?
I'm pretty much on the opposite side of this with Shane, and I tweeted this about this yesterday. And I was saying that okay, if we have to pay, it really needs context. We really need to know more information about this and exactly how it's gonna work.
Hmm.
Because at the first, yeah, we thought it was going to be like pay up front, but no, it's a cooldown. It's you, if you pay, you can transfer more Pokemon. Okay, so I don't have that much problem with it because um, at the end of the day, how often are we going to use this? Like really? Like
How
if
often are they going to do a Meltan event that you can only get a special one that way that can Gmax?
I'm
So
gonna say, and this is a theory that I saw in other videos too, that the cooldown is gonna last the same time that the Melton box
Mm.
refreshes too, since it's gonna be every 3 days, maybe a week. And
Mm.
even then, it's like how much it's gonna cost. Like really, it's gonna be 10 coins, 50, 100 coins. Like and this is something that it adds to the problem with Niantic right now, and it's the lack of communication. It's the lack of information, basically. That yeah, we know this and we can speculate all we want, but we don't have the information, and that's probably the main problem people have with this because we don't know. Like basically, we don't know, and for all we know, it can be only one coin. It's cooldown for one coin and one extra Pokemon, or you can transfer up to 30 every time, and you have to wait days to do it again. So again, we don't know, and that's frustrating also on the same part. But speaking on this thing alone, and if I'm cool with Niantic doing this, I'm cool with it as long as it's reasonable. As long as it doesn't make it like, oh, you have to pay every time, or you only have a very, very limited amount of transfers every single time. That's gonna be like really, really bad. But I'm hopeful of Niantic, and I'm hopeful of the Pokemon Company too, that they all do the right thing.
I wonder.
But it's something we'll discuss later on.
I wonder if the coin thing too might be a deterrent to transfer a massive amount of shinies to try to keep them somewhat special, like maybe coins to transfer
Yep.
shinies. I wonder if that.
Yep.
Matt, you have a thought on that? And this
Um,
general question, really, if you want to tackle it.
yeah. I think that a lot of like the transferring stuff is going to really depend on what you're transferring.
Mm-hmm.
I think like I can't imagine that they're going to let you transfer mythicals right off the bat, but like legendaries, like you can maybe transfer say like 30 Pokemon, but maybe one legendary in say like a week's time, and then like after that week the cooldown ends and you can add more things. Um,
Kind of like
and
Stardust and trading, right? You would
pretty
trade.
much, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I bet it'll be like that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just think like you're going to be paying for the cooldown to end quicker, but I think like regardless, you're still not going to be able to just like keep transferring legendaries after legendaries after legendaries, because I think just they have to consider that how much of that is going to possibly break other games that they're going to be doing. Like if someone just keeps adding like legendaries after legendaries and put them in Sword and Shield, does that potentially kind of break the game in there?
Mm.
So, and kind of to get back to the point where we kind of talking about like Niantic kind of not giving us much information, I think that's kind of by design. And I think Niantic is kind of just floating this kind of information out there to kind of see how the community reacts,
Mm.
kind of get their information where the community's, temperature is at, like how they kind of
Mm-hmm.
want to see it, and kind of try to come to a something in between there.
Okay.
It's kind of hard when you're not like actually talking to the community too much. But I think like floating things out there kind of just helps kind of get the dialogue going, and kind of they can kind of get an idea where we're going with where they're going to go with it.
All right. Well, speaking of changes, obviously this week we saw that there's going to be some adjustments, and we talked about it a little bit earlier with the stay at home and all the changes that they had made with COVID. For example, incense is now going to require you to walk again, where incense used to kind of lure a lot of Pokemon right into your house and so forth. And there's other changes coming as well, like the egg distancing and so forth. But yet some things they're going to kind of still keep in place, like the remote rating system, which I kind of think is permanent at this point. But like walking to do the Go Battle League is still something you don't have to do. So I'm kind of curious if you guys think, especially when COVID isn't cured, and we know that, and it really depends on where you are in the world, but Pokemon Go is a worldwide game. It really depends where you are in the world, like where COVID is at. In some countries, here in California, it's been going down, but I know that's not the case in every U.S. state for sure. And then, of course, in Europe, they're talking about cases going up again. So, COVID isn't done, is the end there. So why is Niantic getting it now? Is it pure financial motivation, or why do you think Niantic wants to change this now to kind of get people back out in the world? Deft, you want to take a shot at this?
Well, this is where I really I'm hopeful that Niantic does listen to the community. Like everyone, you ask any player out there, and if you ask their opinion on whether this is good or bad, they will all tell you this is bad for one thing or another. Because some people I talk to, we're okay with the instant change. Even like, okay, I'm still going out, I'm walking while playing Pokemon Go, and yeah, that's something. But at the same time, that same person was telling me I'm pretty mad about the gifts not being like that many, or there will not give you that many items too, or Pokestops not giving you gifts every time.
Hmm.
And that's a situation that probably to me doesn't apply, because I'm very lucky to live on a Pokestop. So I'm not like running low on items and that stuff. So oh yeah, I'm set. But yeah, for other people it's gonna be like really bad. And also for people that absolutely cannot go out, and especially I'm talking about people with some sort of disability,
Hmm.
that can they cannot literally move or something like that, and they play Pokemon Go.
Hmm.
They're playing like right now with using the incense and doing all that without any sort of like, oh, I have to go out and get more items or get this Pokemon. No, they do it all at home, and it's been perfect for them. And this is something that Niantic really needs to look into. But again, this is where I'm really hopeful that Niantic has listened to the community before. They have listened obviously to the influencers, the Pokemon Go to YouTubers, and all the people that are in the community of the game. They're really listening to us, and hopefully this time around they will also listen. But I'm cautious, and hopefully, and again, no, this get fixed. But if it isn't, this is a really bad move, because I can tell you personally about the situation in COVID in Mexico, and it's not right. It's the same or worse than in the United States.
Hmm.
So it's I can go out, I can do some activities, but it's not totally safe. It's not okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I can go out and do most of the stuff. No, just essential stuff, just some really quick stuff maybe. But it's like I'm not that confident going out every time, because it's like that sense that something can happen. So Niantic needs to understand that the U.S. may be okay-ish right now,
Well, it
but
depends where you're at,
there's
but
a
yeah.
lot of people playing worldwide, and that situation really varies from country to country.
Okay. Shane, do you have any of that optimism that Deft is speaking of, that maybe they're Niantic's going to listen to the community, or do you think this is purely financially motivated, or what do you think about all this?
No optimism whatsoever.
You?
God, I'm so negative. I know, right? Um, so I don't have the exact data in front of me, but I know Joe from Sarah B, who's fairly trustworthy, said that reports are that the player base is about 10 to 15% what it was in 2016. So it's gone down, I mean, significantly. So I think this is all financial, and
to be
I
fair, that's
completely.
still a huge player base. When
I
you
know
think
it is.
when you think about what this game
That's
was in
why.
2016, that's one of like the top moments in gaming history. You know.
Well, and that's why it's frustrating. It's like they're still making money hand over fist. So I
Mhm.
don't think these changes are great. And I completely forgot about the egg distance thing, which was already bad, but I feel like their little press release, I don't know what to call it, their update made it even worse because they're like, okay, we're dropping eggs in incubators back to what they originally were. But don't worry, you can still buy boxes and we're going to put incubators in them. I'm like,
True.
okay, thanks for telling me that you're going to force us to spend more money if we want to hatch these really garbage eggs that we get anyway. So no, I have no faith in Niantic as a
But
company anymore. I feel like they were building up a lot of goodwill with these changes, and then all of a sudden, for no real reason, it seems like never mind, we're gonna get rid of some of our best ones, and you guys are just gonna have to deal with it.
but
If I can add something
yeah,
about this too,
yeah, of course.
especially with the incense. The in- Before COVID and before the situation changed the game, basically nobody used incense like at all.
Yeah, it was
I
a community
don't know
day thing. That was
anyone.
really
Yep,
it.
pretty much.
Yeah, that bought incenses because oh, incenses are the best. No, nobody bought them. Nobody cared for them. Even I when the situation changed and COVID started, I had like tons and tons of instances because I didn't use them. I didn't find
Hmm.
any use for them as outside by community days and special events because you had the walk to make it work and I'm not able to do that like always because of work and other stuff. But yeah, it's like okay, yeah, if you stay still and you can put on an incense and every minute or so you will get a Pokemon, that's great. And even if they change it to like okay, it's gonna last 30 minutes, but you have the same effectiveness, it would be great. But making it like at least how it sounds, making it like it was before, and you don't get any Pokemons unless you're moving, and you have to move fast. That's the other thing that the
Yeah.
instants don't work like they should. You have to be moving very fast to make them work. So
Um,
I don't know why Niantic changed this since instance right now, or at least how it is actually before the change. Um, they've been pretty much selling. It's a top item on their store.
I want to ask Shane a quick follow-up question on the eggs thing, and then Matt, I want to get your take on this too. And my question on the eggs thing is that when this all first implemented, we didn't really know a lot about COVID. We didn't know how how it transferred. Like can you get it if you touch the same surface as someone or what have you? And my point is that I think at this point we know that walking outside, as long as you're keeping social distancing and those types of practices, walking outside is a pretty safe activity. So do you think that maybe Niantic flipped it back because there really wasn't a reason to keep it in place with what we know about
No, they
COVID
want
now?
money. No, they want money, and I feel like while the point you bring up is valid,
Mm-hmm.
it again depends on where you live. I live in a state where a lot of the people don't believe that wearing masks is important. So
Sure.
even going outside, I'm very likely to end up having to walk close to someone that's not wearing a mask.
Yeah, I still wear a mask when
So,
walking. But that's a personal thing.
uh,
Yeah.
I mean, I wear it in the house if somebody's over that is not from our household. I wear it in the car. I wear it as soon as I go outside. So for me, yeah, I guess like I could walk more and get the same effect, but it's still not a safe environment overall.
Okay.
If one aspect is safe, sometimes cool, but that doesn't mean that they should change it back to the way eggs were,
Okay.
because not everybody can have that environment still. This is a worldwide game. Some people can't walk outside. We just talked about like people with disabilities can't use incense. Well, won't be able to use incense the way they have been for months now. It all just boils back to these changes, like, were great, and it's really, really a bad decision that they're changing it.
Okay. Matt, you've been waiting patiently. I want to make sure I get your take on this question. What do you think about these changes? Is it financially motivated? Why now do we change it back?
So let me kind of just get into just kind of, because we were all kind of talking about how COVID has kind of changed how we've played. And as some of you know, I live just outside of New York City, and we know how bad New York City has gotten hit with it. And it's still not great. I left my office, which is in Manhattan, March 13th, and I've not been in Manhattan since. Before, I would just go to work early, walk around Central Park for a little bit, go to Central Park during community days and play then. Now, I've kind of had to kind of just stay in my area and just walk at night because it's still kind of densely populated where I am, and I just try to avoid people as much as possible. And I think that because of that, I think it's still important that they still keep this incubator stuff going. But do I think it's financially motivated? I think there's a little bit of yes and no there. I think right now, Niantic knows that the game has gotten stale, and they're trying to give us and they haven't given us a new gen of Pokemon in a long time. And I think COVID's played a role in that, because, why are they going to release a bunch of new Pokemon, try to get people out? And get people out in droves to catch these things. It just sends a bad look. I mean, this sends a worse look. I think that with the incense, that really kind of solved a lot of problems, which I think a big problem that a lot of people had issues with is the fact that people in rural areas, not near places where you can get stops, can't really play. I mean, I'm fortunate to live near a city and all that, but there's plenty of people, that just live out, in, very rural areas, and this kind of solved that problem with them. Having their Pokemon get items for them, get gifts and everything, and catch Pokemon and play, even participate in community days that way.
Yeah.
I think that really solved that problem. And trying to put my mind in it, just kind of going back to just thinking about Niantic wants to grow the game, and the only way for them to kind of try to do that is try to get people out and walking around. And I think that part of the reason why they're doing it now is kind of I think about the most temperate times to play Pokemon Go. It kind of sucks to play during the winter, especially up here, and it kind of sucks to play in the middle of the summer. So what do you think
especially here?
Yep. So it's when's the best times to play? Spring
and fall,
early summer, and fall. So I think right now they're trying to get people out playing some more, and maybe try to introduce some more things into the game so it just doesn't feel so stale. I still don't think it's right. I think they should still leave the aspect of being able to play from home in a ways. I think that just kind of just gives people a buffer. And I do think that Niantic is listening, because I do think so. Today they announced the Charmander date for Community Day there. And normally they just say oh, the community day time is 11 to 5 p.m. your local time. But this time they didn't. They kind of just left that blank. So it makes me wonder if they're kind of still working through that, and maybe they're kind of just reconsidering the fact oh, if we keep it extended, maybe folks can still play from home.
I didn't think about that. With the other changes, they might be shortening Community Day again. You're right. So they're probably still trying to figure that out. I thought it was a very good call out with the seasonal change. I didn't even really give that any thought, but you're right. I wonder how that plays into it. And just, I don't know if you guys are aware, but since I play a lot of Niantic games, I can't really speak for the Harry Potter game. I stopped playing that a long time ago, but the Ingress, which was the first one, Ingress is also rolling back changes in the same time frame. As of tomorrow, what they call double deploy is no longer going to exist for level 8 resonators. I'm trying to remember the other big changes that they're rolling back. That's the big one. But they're rolling back changes in Ingress at the same time, which is kind of interesting. So I imagine Harry Potter's getting them too. I'm just not educated on what they are. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, I got one more question for you guys. Just kind of quickly, like what you think the future might hold. So, what would you like to see for the Halloween event? And generally, like Pokemon Go's future, what do you want to see? Shane, I'll start with you, and maybe this question for you is what's got to happen for you to reinstall the game?
Well, I'll be a hypocrite and reinstall once that Meltan Melmetal event happens, because Pokemon even said on their site you can't give any other Meltan or Melmetal max soup to be able to have a Gigantamax form. So I'm gonna need that one. But I don't know what they could do, honestly. It would take something pretty major for me to feel like they've earned back my trust. Maybe if they converted all the raid passes into remote raid passes, maybe that would be like a pretty good step. Or no, that's probably it. I don't think they could do anything else at this point. I don't care if they put more gens in it.
Shiny Day?
I don't care about Shiny Day from them. I don't care about their dumb Pokemon with hats anymore. I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever.
I don't need
fine.
another Pikachu with a damn hat anymore. I'm done with that.
No, and now you're gonna get a Shinx, and you're gonna get a Curlia, and you're gonna get a Krologunk. It's like, why? These aren't necessary. They're not even that fun.
They still won't up my inventory. This is horrible for hoarders. Like,
Yeah.
I need more space.
Yep.
I'm like begging them to charge me for more space.
And honestly, it's a bummer to me that I have lost all this faith in the game and company, because my collection of Pokemon on there, like, some of it is from when I was in New Zealand. New Zealand got me to start playing again because I got a shiny Magikarp while I was there. It's like, oh, this is cool. It's my first shiny in Pokemon Go. I'm gonna play this all the time. So I've got these Pokemons that are like geolocation tagged, and I've got some from Japan when I was there. And those memories, like, it's cool to flip back and see, oh yeah, this is when I was there. This is awesome. I'm never gonna get rid of this Pokemon. Now it's like, I'm gonna go play on the Switch.
You just made me realize, though, since you're leaving Pokemon Go, can I have your shinies?
No. I will delete them before I give them to anybody else.
He's just gonna drown them. Throw them in the river.
I thought he was gonna say before I give them to you. I thought he was just gonna say before I give them to me.
Shane is gonna be buried with his shinies, basically.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, how about you? What do you want to see for like Halloween or Pokemon Go's future in general?
I think for Halloween, I mean, they're never gonna do it because it's just them and they're very slow with generations. But I feel it's just like, just give it Mimikyu and Pumpkaboo or something, and give us like maybe a shiny variant of one of them. But like, again, it's just like, I'm tired of the damn costume first gen guys. I'm tired of the Pikachu with a witch hat or whatever. I mean, the Pikachu with the Mimikyu was cute.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just I think it's good that they're bringing back the Giratina form for the event, so that's good. Yeah. But I think just for like the future of the game, I think they just need to just listen to the community and kind of just roll back their position on the incense, and really just try to just kind of just add more to the game, like even just like change up spawns, just like even just try adding a couple new gen Pokemon, just like very slowly, just do it. But I mean, like, it's way too slow now, but it's just like keep adding stuff. And just like, I think like during like the start of this, like my favorite parts were like when they had, unfortunately there were paid events, but like the Go Fest type of stuff where you can pay, you know, a certain amount of money for different things to spawn and all that. I really like that event, but I understand they want to transition to having that back as more of a traveling event. So,
all right. And Deft, what about you? What would you want to see in Pokemon Go's future?
Well, specifically for the Halloween event, Like Matt said, I would like to see more shiny variants, particularly like for example Rotom. We already have Wash Rotom or Rotom Wash. We also need the grass type, the electric type, the fan type too. So I would like to see those and also their shiny variants. Um, I'm not that against costume Pokemon. I know they're a hassle. I know they can pretty much be in your box and just stay there doing nothing, but I don't mind them. I only like catch one if I get the shiny variant. Okay, that's cool. But I'm not that against. But yeah, they need to tone it a little bit down. That I agree with. But
Yeah, I mean, and
overall,
like kind of, and they kind of quite quickly interject. I just to clarify, I just think it's just like change up the costumes instead of just being like Squirtle, Charmander, and
yeah,
Bulbasaur. Just like
yeah, that's
switch
something
it up.
that they have done in the recent years. It's like cross promotion with the Pokemon merchandise. Like this year, I think the Pikachu is gonna. I cannot remember which Pokemon. I think Hattering, it's Hattering, one of the 8th gen, and so it's. I think it's gonna be the same for this upcoming event. They're gonna be as the merchandise this year, so that's cool. That's actually something I really like. But in general, like this coming event, that's I think starting tomorrow or next week, the long something event with the backpacks, um, the clothing line. That event with and like Shane said, no, the Krogon with the hat, the Shinx with the hat, and that stuff. Yeah, I would have been fine if it was one Pokemon with a hat and maybe the rest like, oh, we're gonna do this many spawns of this Pokemon, because at the same time it's like, okay, I get a really good IB Pokemon or a PvP viable Pokemon. Oh, I cannot evolve it because it has a hat, and that's something
Mm,
that they need to fix too.
good
Either
call.
give the evolved form of the hat, or make it an option that, okay, if you evolve it, the hat goes off, like they did with Mega evolutions, like for example the squirrel with glasses, the sunglasses.
Yeah.
It goes off and it returns if when it comes or starts to the restore, sorry, to its original form. So they need to do that. They need to do lots of things, like Shane said. The remote passes, the free pass has to be a general pass. It has to be that it works like a premium pass. It has to be like it works like a remote pass. That something that it really needs to be done. Also, and in particular, I was speaking of the beginning that Go Battle League. They had this great idea with the Flying Cup. Sadly, it was postponed because the Go Battle League has so many lag issues right now, especially with when they pushed this most recent version. So they postponed that, but they need to do more with Go Battle League, and they need to like really invite people to try it, because like you, Rob, that, oh, I only have played twice or thrice because I'm not into it. But
Hmm.
that's the thing. Why are you not into it? Because it's not easily available. It's not something that is easy to learn. So more people, um, so they can pretty much invite more people to the GBL. They need to do something about that. Like really, and it's something they have kind of done this season, because you don't have LO, you don't have points until you get to rank 9. You have to get a certain amount of wins, and then you get the yellow.
Hmm.
But even then, it's still like so many people are. Oh, I'm not gonna bother with the GBL because I don't have the Pokemon. I don't care about it. But it's something that it can be fun. It can be really satisfying even in most occasions. But yeah, they need something to like invite more people and see that it's something that can be done and can be fun, especially right now, and that's the main thing that they need to fix. Stale. The game is getting stale. We have many events and all that stuff, but they need to do something about that. Maybe it's because and all this comes to, oh, we need to go out, and yeah, that's the main appeal of Pokemon Go, going out, catching, seeing lots of places. Shane already said it, and I was watching some of the Pokemon Go tubers, and one of them pretty much said the same thing. Oh, I went to a national park this weekend, and I enjoyed playing Pokemon Go there. But again, it's not something we can do right now, so
Yeah.
it's something that Niantic needs to maybe like address or maybe fix. And this is something I said on Twitter too, just to end it. We need an event that is appealing to everyone, like everyone, like they did with GoFest or post GoFest.
All
That's
right.
it.
All right, really good ideas around the board. I think for me, I'd love to see like a crafting system, like I talked about earlier. I think it would be a good thing. And I know this might be a little weird, but what about like more Pokemon that are just kind of like a Go Pokemon, like
Yep.
Meltan? You know, that would be pretty cool. Or take. I know Shane is very against that. I knew he would be.
No, that's
What?
terrible.
Why not quickly? I got to wrap for time, but quickly, why are you against
because
that?
I don't want a reason to come back to this game that wants to take all my money.
What about
I'll,
maybe meet me halfway? What if it was instead of these hat Pokemons, these costume Pokemons, what if it was like alternate forms? Because we've seen this, you know, with Galarian Pokemons and Alolan Pokemons. What if we had like a Go form of certain types of Pokemon that like wasn't just all Gen 1 stuff?
I still don't want it. I would don't. So Pokemon to me is the main game.
Well, that's my
Everything
opinion.
Okay, everything else is a spin-off. If I have to play a spin-off to get that one version or one special Pokemon, that to me is not a great design.
All right. All right. Well, everybody's welcome to their opinion, I guess, here at the VOG Roundtable. But we do have to wrap up. I do want to thank all of the our guests for joining us for this week's Roundtable. I want to go around and make sure everybody can plug whatever they want to plug. I know not everybody here has a show, but if you want to plug social media, whatever. Deft, I'll start with you. Thank you for being here. I know you have something to plug. Where can folks find more of you?
Yeah, if you speak Spanish and like to listen to Spanish speaking podcasts, we have GFMcast or GFMcast. You can visit us at YouTube, again, the GFMcast, or also GFMcast.com. We're also available on most of the podcast services like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, etc. And
Oh,
also my Twitch channel, twitch.tv /act_deft, like in Twitter also.
all right. Fantastic. Thanks, my friend. Matt, how about you? Anything to plug?
Unfortunately, I don't have much to plug. I think what I will plug is kind of I'll plug the VOG Network Discord. Definitely come and check it out. I'm often pretty active on there, and I think like more people we have on there, the more people we kind of can get to talk about different things, different stories.
The more people to invite to
Um,
roundtables, that's for sure.
that's right.
Yeah.
And I guess like I'll also plug my Twitch channel. I mean, I'm not streaming right now because I'm in the process of moving, and I'm kind of working a lot from home, so I don't really have much time to stream. But I am at a VOG Network. No, I'm at twitch.tv/SSJoe and Jamet.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Matt. And Shane, anything you want to plug?
I want to plug. Okay, everybody else did their Twitch channel, so I think mine's twitch.tv/Shad Starzyk, I think. And I'm gonna plug Hades. Everybody play Hades on Switch or on PC. It's super good, and play it and love it.
All right. Works for me. Well, I was Rob Roberts. I'm on Twitch at Rob Roberts for what it's worth. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And if you want to chat more on a variety of geek topics, video games, anime, movies, British television, whatever it is, check out VOG Network at vognetwork.com. That's vognetwork.com. We're also available on YouTube and Twitch at VOG Network. And you can check out our live programming, including our block of video game shows. That's on Sunday night, starting with Bobby Blackwolf at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, and followed by myself, Dark Sakura, and Loki at OLR, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. Thanks again for joining us for this Pokemon Roundtable. Thank you, guests. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here at the VOG Roundtable. Good night.